In the heart of Southeast Asia lies a city so peculiar that it's hard to believe. It boasts huge 20-lane highways that are completely empty, massive temples with no one in sight, and is 4 times the size of London and 6 times the size of New York. Astonishingly, it appears as nobody is actually living here. We briefly mentioned this city in a previous video, and all were left astounded by the tale of the weirdest capital on Earth. Now, we've decided to delve deeper into the city of Naypyidaw. Brace yourself for a fascinating journey, as the more you learn about this city, the more bizarre the story becomes. Naypyidaw is the capital city of Myanmar, a forested country in Southeast Asia home to about 50 million inhabitants. Previously known as Burma, the name change to Myanmar was controversial and was enforced by a military dictatorship that took control in the 1960s. Although there contention over the legitimacy of this regime's power to alter the country's name, the United Nations recognized it as Myanmar, the name we're using here. Now let's delve into Naypyidaw, often referred to as the strangest capital on Earth. This satellite image shows the city sprawling across approximately 7,000 square kilometers, several times larger than major cities like London or New York. For perspective, it's similar in size to Shanghai, but unlike the bustling metropolis of Shanghai, with its population of 26 million, Naypyidaw houses less than 1 million inhabitants, creating an eerie, ghostly ambiance. The city's vast roads, some boasting up to 20 lanes, are devoid of traffic. Occasionally, a solitary vehicle might traverse these lanes, leaving them practically deserted. The parks, gardens, malls, even its famous landmark, the Upatasanti Pagoda, wears a deserted look. Although it appears post-apocalyptic, Naypyidaw is meticulously maintained by a legion of workers, ensuring a surreal contrast between its emptiness and pristine condition. Visitors recount encounters with workers but no customers in stores, illustrating the city's eerie atmosphere. Since 2015, the population has increased, yet Naypyidaw remains an enigmatic place with a peculiar absence of inhabitants, except for a particular area where you might encounter some people. The city houses Myanmar's parliament, characterized by an extensive complex of lavish and identical structures surrounded by fences and moats. Access to this complex is challenging due to soldiers stationed all around, raising questions about their purpose in a nearly empty environment. Rumors circulate about these high-security buildings being linked to an underground tunnel network designed with the assistance of North Korean technicians, although proving these rumors is challenging. Naypyidaw comprises various zones including military, hotel, residential, and more. In the residential zone, building roofs are color-coded based on occupants' job roles, such as blue for Ministry of Health workers and green for Ministry of Agricultural workers. However, most homes remain unoccupied. These city zones lack logical structure, appearing large, clumsy, and disorganized, as if thrown together without proper thought. Finding the city's center in Naypyidaw is impossible, resembling navigating a random maze. The road layout, including a 20-lane highway inside the ministry zone and peculiar roundabouts, adds to the perplexity. Some roads, like a massive 16-lane highway resembling an airplane runway, raise questions about their purpose, especially as they connect military bases and zones. Certain roads, including the infamous Death Highway, have been notorious for fatal collisions since its opening in 2010, marked by a warning sign in English. Additionally, Naypyidaw features an Upatasanti Pagoda, seemingly impressive but merely a replica. It even lacked monks during its opening and was attended only by politicians and military leaders. The city's unconventional aspects prompt the question, why was it designed and constructed in such a weird way? Naypyidaw was constructed several years ago under the rule of the controversial military dictatorship that not only changed the name of Burma to Myanmar, but also exhibited a violent and unpopular regime. Seizing power through a military coup in the 1960s, the dictatorship responded ruthlessly to student protests at Yangon University, resulting in an unknown death count and hundreds of students being shot. The regime, known for its brutality, refused to hold elections until 1990, and even when conducted, the military annulled the results, arrested opposition politicians, and maintained its stronghold. The construction of Naypyidaw began as a military secret, with satellite images suggesting it initiated around 2002. Unveiled 3 years later, the city's name, Naypyidaw, translates roughly to Home of Kings, reflecting the military leader's self-perceived importance. Despite the country's GDP being less than $10 billion at the time, the city's construction cost $4 billion, a substantial amount considering the impoverished conditions in some parts of Myanmar lacking essential services like education and healthcare. This allocation of funds raises questions about the regime's priorities, especially given the stark contrast between the city's extravagant construction and the pressing needs of the population. The emptiness and eerie atmosphere surrounding Naypyidaw today contribute to the perception that the massive investment was not only too much, but also a wasted opportunity to address crucial societal needs. But what if the government intentionally wanted a ghostly mega-city? If you found this story strange already, it's about to become even more peculiar. Before Naypyidaw, Myanmar's capital was Yangon, a coastal city with a population of over 7 million. Originally named the national capital during the British Empire in 1852, Yangon faced overcrowding issues, prompting the military dictatorship to decide it was no longer suitable. The official reason provided was straightforward. Yangon had become overcrowded, and the regime aimed to establish a new city with more space and improved urban planning. However, many experts questioned the official explanation, considering the real reason to be far more unusual. It is widely believed that the regime was concerned about Yangon's growing population, fearing that a large-scale revolt could pose a significant challenge to the government. The student protests at Yangon University were not isolated incidents, and the regime anticipated the possibility of such protests escalating into more significant movements. Additionally, there were concerns about a potential naval attack from the Bay of Bengal by the United States. Although such an attack was unlikely, the regime, feeling uneasy about US intervention and discontent with the regime, decided to move the capital to a quieter inland region. By positioning the new capital between two mountain chains, Bago Yoma and Shan Yoma, natural defensive barriers were created. The heavily guarded government complex, complete with fences, soldiers, a river or moat, and rumored secret underground tunnels, was established deep within the city. Some speculate the city was intentionally left relatively empty to reduce the risk of popular uprisings threatening the regime's position. The wide roads and 20-lane highways could facilitate easy defense against protests. There are even theories suggesting that the 20-lane highways may serve as secret military runways, allowing planes to land strategically in different parts of the city to defend against potential threats. While none of these theories have been officially confirmed by Myanmar's military dictatorship, the peculiar nature of the city raises questions about whether the official explanation for its construction is as simple as administrative convenience to alleviate traffic in overcrowded Yangon streets. The unique characteristics and organization of Naypyidaw prompt speculation about underlying motives and strategic considerations. In 2015, the regime in Myanmar agreed to conduct another democratic election. Despite losing once again, they initially accepted the election results. For a period, the situation in Myanmar appeared to ease. However, in 2021, the military launched another coup, seizing control and plunging the country into disarray. A civil war has since ensued, marked by ongoing battles between the military and opposing forces. The conflict primarily revolves around Yangon, the most populated part of the country, where protests and battles are concentrated. In contrast, Naypyidaw remains untouched by the turmoil, sitting empty and undisturbed at the center of the country. The military leaders are secluded from the ongoing chaos. Whether this is a mere coincidence or a deliberate fortress is a matter of speculation. Feel free to share your thoughts on why this city was built in the comments below. This has been Innovative Mega Projects. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.